Alright folks, strap yourselves in cause. There's a lot to unpack after that 12-draw WI club rug at Ibrox. And while it might no have been the result we were hoping for, there was one lad that stood out from the rest, young Finlay Curtis. What a performance by the boy. Honestly, if ye didn't know his name before yesterday, you do now. The way he took that goal, composed, confident, clinical. It's the kind of thing that makes ye sit up and go, right, this lad might be the real deal, and let's give credit where it's due. The pass came by Barami, a wee gemo, a ball slid through the back line. And Curtis didn't waste a second. That's the kind of link-up play we've been crying out for. Barami's been a bit of a mixed bag in recent times, but maybe, just maybe, under proper guidance, we're seeing the beginnings of a resurgence there. But the real story here is Curtis. I said it just last night on the podcast, and I'll say it again here. This lad has to be in the mix this season. He needs chances, he needs minutes, and he needs to be backed. Now when you look at the wider picture, no pun intended, the situation WI Rangers wingers is a bit lean, to say the least. Take Curtis out the equation for a second. And I know it's daft to do that after a performance like his, but bear WI me. And what have we got? No much. Since Václav Zirny packed his bags and left, it's been a bit bare on the flanks. Matondo's still hanging about, but let's be honest, there's not a lot of folk in the stands that'd be sorry to see him leave. McCausland, same story. Doubt he can do a job out wide, but does anyone truly see him as a long-term solution? Then there's Oscar Cortez. Now there's a player WI potential. Remember that thrashing against Hearts. 5-0 Cortez was electric that day, cutting in from the left, causing chaos, testing the keeper. That's what you want for your wingers, pace, flair, and product. But the big question WI him has always been fitness. Can he stay fit long enough to make a proper impact over a full season? The issue is, when the depth's that shallow, you end up shoehorning players into roles they're no comfortable in. We've seen it before under Clement and Barry Ferguson. Square pegs and round holes. It doesn't work. You want specialists. You want players playing in their natural positions. No Mac can do. Now we all can how the media loves to stir the pot when it comes to Rangers. Clickbait headlines, transfer rumors that go nowhere. It's all part of the circus. Why? Because they know we'll click. They know we care. But sometimes in amongst the nonsense, there's a wee nugget o' truth. Russell Martin himself has said more signings are coming this week. He's made it clear the team that played against Panathinaikos won't be the same team taking the pitch in a few weeks' time. That tells us something big is brewing. And let's be honest, there's still glaring holes in this squad. Center backs desperately needed. The ones that played against Brugge shaky. We need experience, solidity. Names like Connor Cody and Naze Juara have been floated, and they definitely steady the ship. Then there's the striker situation. Even WI the news that Hamza and Dessers are returning. It's still a position that needs reinforcement. Personally, I was gutted to hear about Dessers coming back. It just feels like taking a step back. But winger's the biggie. It's just as urgent as center back or center forward. I saw a depth chart on another channel the other day. Had McCausland and Dow as the right wing options. That's bleak, folks. If that's what we're going into the season with, we're in trouble. Which is why all this talk about 3 new wingers suddenly makes sense. Now do I believe we'll actually sign 3? Honestly, no. Especially no with Curtis emerging the way he has, but 2 could be realistic. Now one name that's been macking the rounds and raised a few eyebrows is Wesley Patati. Brazilian, plays for Maccabi Tel Aviv, and supposedly a magician on the ball, but honestly it feels a bit far-fetched. For starters, there's other clubs in England and Holland sniffing around him. And when you've got multiple clubs involved, Rangers tend to get priced out. Plus, if we're already looking at someone like Doc in Tehran, are we really gonna chase Patati? It doesn't seem likely. But then you've got the name that's really been getting folk excited, Yisrael Raksaki, or Raksak, or Saki. Honestly, I've heard about for different pronunciations. Let's just call him Rak for now. He's on the books at Crystal Palace, spent last season on loan at Sheffield United and is highly rated. Palace are reportedly open to selling him, which is huge. The lad's 20, born in October 2000, originally from London. Dual nationality, English and Ghanaian. Plays predominantly on the right, cuts in on his left foot. Sounds familiar, right? That's exactly what Zirny used to do. So in terms of profile, he's a like-for-like replacement. Rak's versatile as well, right wing, left wing, attacking, mid, even up front if needed. But his sweet spot is definitely that right-hand side. Started out at Chelsea's academy, moved to Palace, and since then he's been developing steadily. He's had a good number of appearances for Palace's youth teams, had a productive loan at Charlton. 49 games, 15 goals, 9 assists. That's 24 goal contributions. That's serious end product. At Sheffield United last season he made 36 appearances, scored 7, assisted 2. And when you look at his positional breakdown, he's equally comfortable on either wing. In fact, his numbers from the left are even better. 38 appearances, 26 goals, 12 assists. That's 1 goal contribution per game. That's what you call impact. Imagine him and Cortez swapping wings mid-game, one cutting in on the right, the other on the left. Fluid, dynamic, unpredictable. Defenders wouldn't know what's coming. Now here's the catch. Palace reportedly want 10 million quid for him. That's steep, especially for Rangers. But here's the thing, there's always an English premium. If a lad's born south o' the border and shows even a hint of potential clubs down there, slap on an extra few million. Just look at what Bournemouth paid for Alex Scott, 23 million. Or Ipswich splashing out 19 million on Jack Clark, English players cost. So 10 million might seem like a lot, but if Rack keeps improving and hits his stride in Scotland, he could double that value in a couple o' years. It's a risk, but one that could pay off. Still, if we're talking 10 million, some fans are already a skin. Why no just bring back Zirny? Proven, known quantity, no adaptation needed. But then again, it depends on what kind of project Martin wants to build. Rack's young, hungry, potential resale value, could be part of a longer-term plan. Still, whether it's a permanent deal, a loan WI an option, or just a straight loan remains to be seen. Another name in the frame is Samuel Belit, or Ballet. Depending on where you're reading, a bit older at 24, but again a right winger. Played in Switzerland, Italy, for clubs like Young Boys, Winterthur, Como, and Zurich. He was on loan at Zurich last season, 28 games, 3 goals, 2 assists. No the flashiest numbers, but decent experience. Ballet's another versatile one. Can play both wings and even through the middle, and crucially, he'd be a lot cheaper than Rack. We're talking maybe 2.5, 3 million. That's much more in Rangers' price range. He's under contract until 2020, so there's time to negotiate. But unlike Rack, there's no hefty English tax here, just straight business. So look, whether it's Rack, Ballet, or even Patati, the fact is, Rangers need more wingers. Curtis has shown he's ready. Cortez, if he stays fit, is a weapon, but that's no enough. We need at least one more, maybe two, to really give this team the width and the threat it needs. Now let's no beat around the bush here. This squad's in a bit of a rebuild, and that means players will need to come in. But players also need to head out. Russell Martin's made that crystal clear. He's not gonna carry passengers, and frankly we've been carrying a few for far too long. There's no point stacking the bench WI bodies who are barely used or no suited to the system. He wants to play. It's a case of out WI the old and WI the hungry. Looking at the current options out wide, you've got Rabbi Matondo. And let's be honest here, his time's up. The experiment's been run. We've all seen it. The lad's got pace, but that's about it. Decision-making erratic. Final ball inconsistent at best. Ye can't rely on someone like that when you're trying to win titles. Then there's Ross McCausland. Young lad has potential, but maybe needs a loan move, somewhere he can get regular starts, build his confidence, and learn how to impose himself in matches week in, week out. And as much as I hate to say it, Kieran Dowell. Decent player, professional attitude, but he's another square peg. A central midfielder being stuck out wide just because there's no better option. That can't be the way forward. It's a stopgap solution and nothing more. We've done it too many times in the past, and where has it got us? Nowhere. It's time we build a squad with balance, with actual specialists in their positions. And WI depth to rotate without sacrificing quality. Now going back to young Finlay Curtis for a moment, his rise could not be better timed. He's shown he's no afraid of the big stage. Stepping into a game against a European-level opponent like Club Brugge and making an impact that takes belief, and it shows he's ready to be considered for real minutes this season. He's no just there to fill a squad number, he's there to compete. You bring in another couple of quality wingers alongside him and Cortez, and suddenly you've got options, you've got competition. You've got the kind of setup where every training session becomes a battle for that starting shirt. And that's how you raise standards. As for the transfer links, let's go a wee bit deeper into Samuel Ballet. His path to this point has been anything but straightforward. Started out at Young Boys, then moved to Winterthur, a stint at Como, loaned to Zurich. He's seen a bit of everything. He's played in the Swiss Super League Serie B and has been tested in a few different tactical systems. That kind of versatility and experience can be valuable, especially in a squad like ours that's still finding its identity. What stands out about Ballet is that he's no afraid to take on defenders. He's got quick feet, can beat a man on the outside or cut in if the opportunity's there. His numbers aren't as explosive as Rack's, 3 goals and 2 assists last season. But he's a different profile, less flashy perhaps but more workman-like. The kind of player that can come and do a shift and maybe surprise a few folk along the way. And for a fraction of the price of someone like Rack, he's worth considering, especially if the club's looking to spread its budget across multiple areas. Now back to Rack. There's no denying the lad's got star potential. But £10 million, that's a gamble. For a club like Rangers, that kind of spend has to be near guaranteed success. We can't afford flops at that price. There's also the matter of integration. Coming up from England, different culture, different intensity, different expectations. Some players take to it like a duck to water, others don't. So you've got to ask, do we take the risk on someone with a high ceiling? Or go for the slightly safer, less expensive option? Ballet, personally, I think there's room for both. If the board are serious about backing Martin, and if the player trading model is the path, we're fully committed to, then you identify talent, bring them in young, develop them, and sell them on for profit. Rack fits that model perfectly. Ballet could be the steady hand to support the likes of Curtis and Cortez. You need a bit of both. The flair and the graft. What I'd love to avoid is falling into the trap we've seen before, getting hyped up on names, only to see the club miss out or overspend on a panic buy. Let's be clever about this. Let's move early, get players in for preseason. Let them gel. Too many times we've brought players in when the league's already started and they're trying to get up to speed while the season's rolling. That puts us on the back foot straight away. Another thing to consider, if we're genuinely interested in Rack and Palace are serious about moving him on, then surely there's a conversation to be had about a loan to buy. Give us a season him, see how he handles the league, the physicality, the atmosphere. Then if it clicks, we talk numbers. If no, we've lost the 10 million. That kind of deal makes sense for both parties, especially if Palace are wanting to raise funds quickly. Now just to touch again on the broader picture. Martin's vision seems to be about youth, hunger, and athleticism. You look at some of the signings already rumored and you can see the direction. Players who can play multiple roles, who press high, who bring energy. The days of the aging squad, slow in transition, predictable in build-up, they're done, or at least they need to be if we're serious about challenging for the title. You add Rack or Ballet into that mix. Even better, both, and suddenly you've got a front line that can press counterplay through tight spaces. Curtis, as we've seen, is no afraid to carry the ball forward. Cortez has that South American flair. And if we do bring in another central striker to complement Dessers and Hamza, maybe someone a bit more physical, you've then got multiple styles of attack, flexibility. That's what wins leagues. It's also worth pointing out that the fans are starting to buy into Martin's approach. There's still a lot of uncertainty, and some folk are skeptical. But when ye see youngsters like Curtis stepping up, when you hear Martin speak plainly about what needs to be done, and when the club starts macking smart moves in the market, ye get hope. Real hope. Now as for the third winger, I still think that's pushing it. Maybe if one of the others falls through. But if we get to solid options, and that's plenty, especially Curtis looking ready. What you don't want is stunting the progress of someone real potential, just high or depth. Quality over quantity, always. Still I do understand the idea of stacking the wide areas for injury cover. We've been burned by that before. 1 or 2 knocks and suddenly we're seeing midfielders shoved out wide again. That can't happen this season. We need the proper tools for the job. And look, none of this matters if we don't sort the back line. A good winger's only as effective as the system behind him. If we're leaking goals and under pressure constantly, even the best widemen struggle to shine. So let's get the center backs sorted, the spine strengthened, and the creativity in the wide areas balanced out. Martin's no here to mess about. He's got ideas, he's got standards, and if the club backs him, truly backs him, we might be seeing the start of something special. No overnight success, mind you. This'll take time, but the signs are there. So for me, if I had to pick, give me Rack and Ballet. That blend of promise and experience, that mix of flair and functionality. Throw Curtis and Cortez into the mix and that's a proper setup. It's fresh, it's fearless, and it gives us a reason to be excited again. Because let's face it, Ibrox deserves wingers who get you off your seat, players who make defenders panic, lads who play with swagger. And for the first time in a while, it feels like we might actually be heading in that direction. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Whispers are swirling in the Scottish football scene as Rangers appear to be closing in on a deal to sign DOR TURGEMAN, the promising Israeli forward who has been turning heads with his performances. While nothing has been officially confirmed yet, insiders suggest that negotiations are well underway, and the Gers could soon secure a significant addition to their attacking options. TURGEMAN, known for his sharp movement and clinical finishing, has impressed many scouts across Europe, and it seems Rangers have now stepped up their interest. The 23-year-old has showcased his ability to find the back of the net consistently in Israel's top flight, and his knack for creating chances makes him an exciting prospect for any club looking to bolster their front line. The potential signing comes at a crucial time for Rangers, who have been keen on strengthening their squad to mount a stronger challenge in both domestic competitions and Europe, with their sights set on reclaiming the Premiership crown. Adding a player like TURGEMAN could inject fresh energy and versatility into Steven Davis's squad. Rumors suggest that the deal is in its final stages, with the players' camp reportedly enthusiastic about a move to Scotland. The prospect of playing in front of the passionate Rangers supporters and competing in the intensely competitive Scottish Premiership is said to be a major factor in TURGEMAN's interest. While Rangers have been linked with several forwards this season, TURGEMAN's name is increasingly emerging as a frontrunner. His blend of youth, skill, and potential resale value makes him an attractive prospect, especially given the club's focus on building a squad that can compete now and in the future. Of course, nothing is set in stone yet, and football transfers are notoriously unpredictable. But if Rangers do manage to pull off this signing, it could mark a significant coup and a clear signal of their intent ahead of the new campaign. Fans will be watching closely for any official announcements, hoping that the buzz turns into reality. For now, the chatter continues, and all eyes remain on Ibrox as the Rangers hierarchy looks to add a new weapon to their arsenal in the form of DOR TURGEMAN. Whether this deal will come to fruition remains to be seen, but the mere possibility has certainly got the football community talking. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC, and don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.